Lots of exciting news to share with you today. Hey everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys can hear me okay. My microphone broke, so again, I am doing this without a microphone and just talking to the phone. So if you cannot hear me very well, I apologize. Please let me know in the comment section. Last couple of videos have been okay this way, so let me know if that is not the case this time. So this video is definitely not BookTube related, so I apologize if you're here just for BookTube content, but I'm excited and I like to share a little bit of AuthorTube here and there. And before I jump into all of my good news, I do want to say thank you to everyone who supported me in the last couple of videos. I had a really rough patch there. I appreciate the comments and the likes and the support that I received. And as I mentioned in my last video, I really want my channel going forward to just be things I want to post, things that I'm excited to post, whether it be books, AuthorTube, or whatever else I decide to share on this channel. I actually have a channel or a video, I should say, that I'm going to be doing probably next week or two that is not BookTube or AuthorTube related, but it's something I just want to share with you guys that might be helpful to other people. And I just would like to have a little more freedom on my channel. So if you decide to stay and support me through this, I appreciate it. There will definitely still be BookTube content though, because books are my true love. They are my true love. All right, enough about all that. I'm very excited because I have had a very good start to 2022 in terms of my writing career. I've had a few really big things that have happened for me, and I'm excited to share them all, and then of course leave the big one, which is mentioned in the title, for my last, so I can gush about it for like 10 minutes or something. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so 2022 started off strong. I re-released Wildside in February, which is a book I wrote about, well, 10 years ago. I wrote it in 2011. 10, 11 years ago, something like that. And when I first wrote this book, it was a bad self-publishing experience. You can go back and look at past videos and I go into detail about that, but let's just say it was not my best work. So I decided that one of my goals was to rewrite some of the crappy books I put out back earlier 10 years or so ago, and this was one of the books in which I did so. So I rewrote it, re-edited it, changed the ending. Actually, it has a total twist ending, which did not exist the first time I wrote the book, and it came out in February, and I was excited. I just recently released like a paperback version because family wants to buy the paperback version, but everybody else is reading it for free on KU. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free with your KU subscription. But it has gone well so far. Is it a huge moneymaker? No. Am I really promoting it? Also, no. I'm not really putting much promotion behind it. It was just something I wanted to do for me. I have a couple more books, like my mom's memoir that I wrote, that I want to get back out just because I want to re-release the crappy writing that I put out a decade ago and give it more life and feel proud of the product I'm putting out. So anyways, that got released. I'm proud that I finally got it re-released in a version that I can be proud of and not embarrassed by. Second thing that happened is that I decided to try out Kindle Vella this year, which I don't know much about Kindle Vella, or at least I didn't at the time, and I kept seeing it mentioned in some of my writers group on Facebook. My writers groups, I should say, on Facebook. People are talking about how it's kind of like the Amazon Kindle version of Wattpad, and that it's like Wattpad without the creepy dudes trying to message you in the messages, because you would not believe the creepy dudes that try to message you on Wattpad. It's really weird. I don't understand it, but whatever. And I just got to where I wasn't a huge fan of Wattpad because it's very much like just a lot of creepy creepers all the time. I kept getting a ton of them. So I was like, I took all my stuff off Wattpad. I deleted my Wattpad account. And in my writers group, they're like, you need to try Kindle Vella. It's kind of like Wattpad, but not really. And the way it works is it is a serial novel system. So you put up episodes of your novel, which can be chapters. I'm doing mine an episode as a chapter. And the first 3 chapters or episodes of your serial novel are free to the public to test out. And once they get to the 4th chapter, they then have to buy tokens in order to read the rest of your book. So obviously they buy tokens from Amazon. You get royalties off of the tokens they use to read your chapters. And then you also get bonuses because Kindle Vella has kind of like a pool of money, I guess. And the pool gets, I don't know how the bonuses work, but essentially it's kind of like KU where there's a pool of money and you get a portion of the pool of the money based on certain criteria. It's kind of all spelled out on Kindle Vella. And I ended up putting up my vampire novel. I wrote a vampire and romance novel called Nocturne about a decade ago. This was back when I was doing most of my writing. And I loved the book, but the vampire thing was like everywhere at the time. This was like when Twilight was out and all that. And it was oversaturated. And I remember trying to sell that novel to so many publishing companies. I think I queried until my hands fell off, pretty much. And no one picked it up because the market was so oversaturated with vampires at the time. And I finally kind of gave up because the vampire craze started dying down. Nobody wanted my novel, so I just put it on a, Dropbox folder, and there it sat for years. And when I saw Kindle Vella come up, and I was like, let me just throw it up there just to try it out. And it's like a vampire series. I have whole planned. I just have the first novel done, but it's like a vampire series. Sort of kind of has the same feel as Black Dagger Brotherhood. You have warrior vampires who are hiding from a secret society of humans who want to kill them. They have, fated mates trope. So he has a fated mate that he finds, and there's mystery about, is she related to vampires in some way, but she's human, and so how is she his mate? And it's a whole mystery they have to figure out. And so far, it's actually doing really well on Kindle Vella. I have never made a lot of money off of any of my self-published writing. If I'm being 100% transparent, the most money I have ever made in a royalty payment from Amazon is like maybe $10. I just have not made much, $5 or $10 here or there. Maybe once or twice a year, I'll get a royalty payment. I just don't get paid much on my writing. But with Kindle Vella, in 1 month with 4 chapters up, I made $36 from a bonus payment. And I made about $5 and some change from my royalties for people buying that 4th chapter. I was shocked because I was not expecting that. I've never made money off of my writing, not like that, not like a decent amount of money. And that was only on the first 4 chapters. I've obviously kept writing, so I'm really anxious to see what it looks like for my March payment and like how much I've earned in March. Because obviously you don't know your bonus until they deliver the bonuses to you, but royalty-wise, I've doubled what I made last month in royalties. Which may not sound like a lot of money, but like I never make, I made money 2 months in a row, at least on royalties. I don't know what the bonus looks like, but I'm shocked. So if you have not checked out Kindle Vella, it's new. You have to, again, understand it's a serial novel. Some people hate that because they want to read the book when it's finished. But if you are somebody who's already reading Wattpad stories, or you like to write on Wattpad, I would definitely recommend checking out Kindle Vella. Why not? I'm not going to say it's easy. You do have to self-promote. It doesn't have the same algorithm as like a regular Amazon novel would have. But if you like to write serials on Wattpad anyway, like why not try it? Because this is a great way to maybe earn some royalties, earn some bonuses, while still getting the same feel of Wattpad. So I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it yet. And I also recommend it to those who like to read because it's kind of fun. I have a few novels that I'm like anxiously following and waiting for the next episode. So I'm enjoying it. Okay, on to the big news. Big news. Big news. Okay, I signed a book deal. I signed a book deal with my sister. Let me explain. So, at the beginning of 2020, my sister, niece, and I started a podcast called Hoosier Myths and Legends Podcast. And we started it when the pandemic hit. I had been laid off. My sister was a librarian assistant at the school. So suddenly she wasn't working. My niece was suddenly like doing school from home. The whole world was shut down. And we were like, oh my God, what do we do? So we decided, like, you know what? We've always wanted to start a podcast. Let's do it. We ended up Googling ourselves to death and we found out how to start a podcast online. So we ended up launching our first episode, and in March of 2020, March 27th, I think it was, of 2020 was our very first episode. And in the 2 years that we've had these podcast episodes going, the podcast has just continued to grow. And it's just a short, every couple weeks, we release a 10 to 15 minute episode where we talk about Indiana ghost stories and legends. That's all it is. It's a super simple podcast that has just consistently grown over the last 2 years. And I'm really proud of where our podcast is, how many listeners we have, and how many social media followers we have. It has been such a fun experience for us to do, and I absolutely love doing it. So we never expected it to become what it is today, and we certainly never expected to get the attention of a publishing company. So we were reached out to from a well-known publishing company about partnering with us to write a book about Indiana ghost stories for a certain region of Indiana. Now, I'm not going to go into like naming publishing companies and all that, but I will say this. You probably already know who they are. You just don't realize who they are. So if you have ever seen at your local Walgreens the rack that has your local history books, or if you have ever been in the Barnes and Nobles and you see like a haunted blah blah blah, like we have a haunted Crown Point, a haunted Gary, the haunted books is the series we're going to be writing for. And I was so shocked because not only does it completely fit our podcast, like it 100% fits our podcast, but it's a legit publishing company. Like we are going to be in bookstores and libraries. Like it is a legit publishing contract. And I was so shocked and I'm so excited. Like I'm talking legit, like we're going to have book signings and we're going to have events that we have to go to. Like it's legit. Now, one thing I will tell you if you're used to self-publishing is that traditional publishing definitely has a slower publishing schedule. So our book won't actually come out until like the fall of 2023, just in time for Halloween. But I'm so excited to just say that I'm a legit author. It's like a childhood dream of mine to have a book deal. So my sister and I are just like dying with excitement right now. I have never been more excited to write a book in my entire life. We went through the whole proposal process. We gave them all of our chapter names and all the stories we want to cover. And we are, knocking it out in the next couple months. We're going to knock this book out. And I'm really excited. And again, I never in a million years thought our podcast would ever reach the point where someone would be like, hey, we like you guys enough to want to partner with you on a book. Like I never thought that would happen. But I think the thing that I'm most excited about is that I love this series of books. I actually collect them. I never even told our acquisitions editor this, but I collect those books. I have a whole stack of them in my room right now. Because I love them and I read them all the time. And I have all of the cities, all the Indiana ones I have all of the Illinois ones. And I've got a whole bunch on Amazon TBR that I want to buy for like just different cities I've visited. And to be included in that series of books, I'm like dying because I love those books so much. And I can't believe that me and my sister get to write a book for that series. So, dreams do come true. 2022 has been an amazing year for writing, and I'm really excited to keep writing. I'm excited to see what the future is going to bring. And yeah, the writing world is becoming real to me. So yay. So that is all my exciting writing news. So as you guys know, most of my writing is actually under Lavern, which is my pen name. I talked about it a while back. So if you want to find my writing stuff, most of it's under Lavern. My Hoosier Myths and Legends book that we're doing with the publishing company will be under my real name. But yeah, so if you want to follow me, the links are below. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.